God damn it. Way to fuck it up, Matthew. Way to fuck it up.
Oh, shut up. You're fine. Maybe I'm selfish. I'm like, okay, now I can mess up something. Hey, y'all.
Hey.
It's Thursday. In the CMC studio.
The CM what?
CMC.
Oh, I thought you said CMC. Girl, I can barely
I'm
hear
with
you.
my stutter.
Not stutter.
I got stutter sometimes. I get nervous.
Yo, sometimes same. Sometimes.
Or I just like mutter over words. Like I'll never forget. I might have told this story on the podcast, but I was talking with a client and I was having trouble saying the word. Oh, fuck. Well, it was something stupid.
None
it was
of
like
this shocks me.
I know. It was something about like I can't remember the word. Let's just use transportation for an example. Mm-hmm. And I was like transport, and I like there was a brain block in my head, and they started laughing, and I was like, so clearly I haven't had my coffee yet, and I was like, this word shouldn't be challenging.
Yeah,
and that's a big word for Elmo.
Sometimes my tongue gets lazy. Like I used to have to go to speech class back in elementary.
Same, girl.
And sometimes my tongue will get lazy, and it's always in a tour.
Oh, same. Always tour
and
or
like,
client
fuck.
calls where I'm like, damn, do they think I'm stroking out?
Yeah,
right
like what? I swear I know what I'm talking about.
Like I thought she was reputable.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. Yeah, look at you. Don't be trying to make up for it now, girl. I'm not the one to prove it to. I know you got us whatever your issue is.
A lot.
Oh, jeez Louise.
How y'all doing? Also, welcome back to the studio.
Welcome back to, I mean, this is more of a welcome back for us.
Yeah.
We haven't been in this space in a couple weeks.
Yeah, we were on the road last time, which thanks for watching if you did or listening because it was a bumpy ride.
Yeah, I would recommend watching it on YouTube.
1,000%. You'll be so entertained.
Yeah, it's my face is cut out for like 10 minutes because we can't see the angle.
And the angle on Kaylee for the first half of the ride, you're getting up close and personal.
And like
with
the
your
mic
girl.
wasn't working. It was just, it was a...
The mic wasn't working, but then Kaylee left the mic on for the rest of the day after we recorded.
Yeah. Embarrassing.
We ended up going to an event, as we mentioned, and then we went to dinner afterwards with our friend, and they were like,
what is that?
Why do you have a mic on? And we started pissing our pants.
Yeah.
So.
Luckily, it blended in with what you were wearing.
It did.
But still. And you had a coat, right? You had a coat
on? True.
Yeah. Wow. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
I know.
You sloppy as hell, girl. You sloppy.
Whatever.
Clean it up.
Bitch, don't let me start with you.
Come at me, bitch, because my house is clean now.
Now. Open up the closet, Pepsi bottles.
No, the closet's clean. I cleaned that like weeks ago, remember?
Okay, Eminem.
Bitch. My closet's clean ever since I came out.
I clean my closet.
No, it's kidding. My closets were clean when I was in it and came out and I was like, I don't need to clean it. It's fine.
God damn.
I ain't in there no more. Whatevs. So, how you doing?
I'm doing. How are you?
I am good. I'm great.
Back into the swing of things?
Yeah, I had 4 days off, which was great.
Which is great, but Matt with a lot of days off, like, that could be trouble or that could be good.
It could be big trouble, but it wasn't.
He could be knocking down walls because the difference between Matt and I have 4 days off. Girl, I could chill.
Yeah.
I can chill.
I'm not good at that.
I can't just chill and not do like general cleaning and tidy and like normal stuff. Like I'm not like that. But you're project oriented, which I'm envious of. Mm-hmm. I really am. Like Adderall takes his blood while he's sleeping to make their capsules. I swear to God.
Yeah, I'm not good at just doing nothing. Although I had 2 full days of doing nothing and it felt great. I was like productive a little bit, but like Saturday, I didn't do shit until y'all called for me to come over. And then I finally showered.
We had to sing along.
We did.
Legit,
made Josh play the guitar.
Like him.
I pulled up the lyrics. I was making Kaylee sing.
Like we were doing duets.
Yeah, I was like, this is your part. You better.
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking about too? Because I was rewatching your favorite thing, your favorite song that they played on the Opry 100 thing. And I was sitting, because I was sitting on the back of your couch, like not on your couch, but on the back of your couch. And I remember it was coming. I made you sing, but I had to come in for harmonies. And Josh was like, this is high. Like, can you do this? And I was like, yeah, I could do this. I can't sing. Like,
you got it.
I'm a commit to it, but it ain't gonna be good.
You were trying to tell me to harmonize for one song, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. So I'm just singing the lyrics. So I was just like, I'm just gonna sing along.
But yeah, so did that. Yeah, we were significantly drunk, not like crazy, but like enough to feel a little
for your 30s.
Yeah,
we didn't get hammered. We all went to bed.
Yeah.
We all it wasn't like that, but
the next day,
in your 30s, the next day, Josh woke up, got coffee, sat on the couch, and then napped for 3 hours.
Yeah, I didn't nap, but I watched a bunch of like true crime documentary stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I finished Sunday night very late, like 3 a.m. I went to bed because I put on White Lotus because the new episode came out. And
don't spoil it, y'all.
Yeah,
you still 3 episodes behind.
You need to catch up.
I know.
There's a lot.
I'm kind of doing it on purpose though, to like
to bank it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when I put it on, normally like there's the preview of other shows before, and I always skip over it, but I didn't skip over it this time. And I ended up watching, I don't remember the name. It's like something like The Man in the Snow, but it's the trial of Karen Reed, which I had never heard of before.
It's a good fucking story.
And when I tell you I'm
sad, but good.
Sad because obviously he dies. But I'm obsessed with it. Like it is, I want to watch it again. I just watched it the other day.
I want to see it because I know the story, but I didn't even know this was a thing. So I want to watch it.
I think it just came out too, like brand new. But no, it is, I'm obsessed. It's all my TikTok is now. Like, and it's just, I'm not going to give anything away.
Team Karen.
But definitely. But I will say like 100%, 1000%. If you have the time, it's 5 episodes. They're an hour long each or something like that. Just commit to it. It's worth staying up late. I was about to go to bed and then I was like, oh, it's just one more episode. And then,
3 a.m. came along.
3 a.m. came along and I struggled the next day, but it was fine. It was totally worth it.
Yeah. But that was your second true crime docuseries.
Oh, no, I watched a bunch that day, but second of significance. The first one was the fall of Ruby Frankie.
Which
also was that.
And that story, oh my God.
That one is more like crazy.
Yeah.
Like Karen Reed is like it's crazy, but it's not like.
But it's about like one event and then the storyline surrounding that. This is like
the long-term, year-long
life of this family.
It's insane. I have crazy. So many things to say. They're all rude and not good, so I won't say them on the. I'll say them to you, but I won't say them to all you listeners. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to Utah anytime soon, baby.
I mean, no offense to y'all Utah people out there. I've never had any interest.
Yeah. It's,
the mountains look pretty. I'll look at pictures.
The houses look great. Everything looks good, but,
It gives me modern farmhouse vibes.
It gives me cult.
Same.
So, sorry.
We can have a whole episode about that. Same, girl, same.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's basically where I've been. Now I'm back in the swing of work, which is, everything's good. Everything's good.
Getting ready for event season.
Getting ready. It is coming up.
So soon.
Yeah. 2 weeks? 2 weeks away?
Oh,
3
right.
weeks?
Because yours are.
I mean, I have a wedding next week, but.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, a brunch one.
Oh, right.
But then, like mid-April, shit picks up and I'm running.
I know.
So, yeah, that's where I'm at. But enough about me.
Oh.
How is life in Kaylee's world?
Life is good in Kaylee's world. Life is busy. I've been having those past couple weeks where even on Tuesdays, I'm like, how do I have this much to do this week? Like on Tuesdays, I'm already feeling the stress for Friday type week. So it's been going good. It's just like my days feel jam-packed and there's a lot to do.
Why the stress for Fridays? What is significant about Fridays?
Just like the end of the week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the like tying things up because during non-wedding season, I work like a Monday through Friday where Mondays like I'll take off or take on. Mondays are like my floater day. Try to take off Saturday, Sunday, but now as we're getting closer to event season, like these next couple weeks, I either work Saturday or I work Sunday or I work both. So it's like a flex of week, but then when event season comes, I'm off Sunday, Monday. Ideally.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise good. Matt and I had a little date.
Did we?
We did.
What did we do?
We went to get Indian food.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did. Yeah. Trying new places, y'all.
Trying new places. We're trying like I want to say every week, but realistically every other week.
Yeah.
To go to new places that we want to go.
Yeah. There's a list. I'm for it. The season is right. I'm feeling like a new person. Like,
and we went early, so we didn't get home that late, which works for our
not
lifestyle.
Like early, but it was like we left at 5.
Yeah, I mean, like we weren't going for like a 7:00 dinner.
Yeah,
we got there at like 5:30, so we got home around 8.
Girl, there's a hair. It's distracted me.
Sorry.
You good?
We obviously went to Home Goods after dinner, even though we told
failure.
Well, for you,
yeah,
I got some candles.
It was one of those things where you knew something was there, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go." And then I get there, and nothing.
It's because it was at the Kingston one.
No, it was the Middletown one we went to.
No, what you were looking for
was at the Kingston one.
Bitch.
Yeah. Don't be calling me names, motherfucker. Yeah.
We want to say our favorite curse words. We can't.
Yeah.
We played that game on the way to dinner.
Yeah, you could. No, but we played that game in our last episode.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yeah.
Goddamn. Sorry,
it wasn't on, Yeah.
You goddamn.
Don't say it.
Just kidding.
Although can't even get into it.
Okay. But anyway, yeah, we went to dinner, had delicious Indian food, went to Home Goods, picked up my husband dinner on our way, which he called us,
a million times
to check in when we're going to be home. And I never let him know we were going to Home Goods after dinner. So I was like, we'll be home in 45 minutes, which realistically we were home like an hour, 15 minutes later.
Yeah, because we got to Home Goods and I was like, oh, it'll take like 10 minutes. And
it took us
30 minutes later.
Yeah. I take blame. I was looking down on the
It's fine. If he wanted food that badly, he could have went and got it.
But the last time he called us, we were like 5 minutes away. And Matt was driving, so I was a passenger, but my phone still goes on like you're driving unless I'm like actively on it, which I wasn't because we were talking. So I didn't realize he called me 2 times. So then he ends up calling Matt. And we pick up. He's like, just wanted to make sure you guys were okay. I'm like, bitch, you just want to make sure your fucking Chinese food was okay.
You want to know where the food's at.
Because we had to get him separate dinner because, spices don't do well for his tummy.
IBS, baby.
Yeah.
IBS awareness.
He's going to get this.
He don't even listen.
This is going to be my last one. True.
Listen, if he did start listening, he tuned out already. All right.
I know.
So, unless one of y'all want to go tell him what we talked about.
Don't be rats, bitches. Yeah. Don't be rats. Yeah.
Was there more to your story? Or
I guess that was it. I don't even know. I guess that was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good for you.
Thanks. That I went out to dinner with you. Good for you. This bitch.
It's a good time, baby. It's a good time. Always entertaining. Ow, I almost broke my neck right there. Anyway, so what are we talking about today?
I was going to ask you. What are we talking about?
Well, so today, we're going to talk a little bit about imposter syndrome. Because I think this is really something that I still deal with a lot of times. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people deal with this. So, we're going to talk about it and
dive in.
Go that way.
Okay.
Are you down for that?
I'm down,
girl. Did you prepare notes or something?
I prepared notes.
Okay, I'm kidding with you. Let me take a drink before I get into the technicalities. Imposter syndrome. So what we'll do first is I'm going to start with some basic background of what this is in case you have no idea what this is. And if you don't, then damn, good for you. Or maybe you've just been dealing with something and you don't know what it is and I'm about to tell you. So anyway.
It's like WebMD, Matt's version.
You got problems, baby? You tell me what they are. I'll tell you what's wrong with you.
I'll diagnose you.
Okay, so I'm going to read this now. So this isn't me like saying this shit, but you know what I'm saying.
It is, but it's not his words.
It's not my words. So imposter syndrome is a psychological experience where individuals doubt their abilities and accomplishments despite external evidence to the contrary. They may feel like they are frauds or imposters who will eventually be exposed. Did that make sense for everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. So here are some symptoms of imposter syndrome. Which also, just to clarify, imposter syndrome is not a mental disorder.
Mm-hmm. It's like a state of mind, right?
Yes.
Like how you're feeling.
Yeah, it's not a mental disorder.
Yeah.
But symptoms are persistent self-doubt and insecurity, attributing successes to luck or external factors, fear of failure and being exposed as a fraud, feeling like one is not qualified or deserving of achievements, difficulty accepting praise and compliments, perfectionism and high standards, overworking and self-sabotage. How many of those? I think every fucking box on my shit is checked.
No, there was one that wasn't for me.
Difficulty accepting praise and compliments.
Yeah, just give it, girl.
I
mean, I'll be like, no, but I'll be like walking my car, not being able to fit my head in the car.
I'm the worst. If people try to compliment me, I just don't say anything in response.
I mean, people just don't really compliment me, so I wouldn't know. I like beg for a compliment from Matt.
I mean, she does, but...
And he won't give me the satisfaction.
It's because I want them to be authentic. There are times where I've complimented you and...
He told me it looked like a snack.
Yeah.
I know I told you already. Because it's the only one, so I can't pull out like any more from my
She's
holster.
Lying. Stop making me look like a douchebag.
Don't. You said it.
Okay. Anyway, moving on. Causes of imposter syndrome.
Daddy.
Societal.
I'm just kidding. Love you, Dad.
Thank you so much. Okay. Societal expectations and pressure, childhood experiences of criticism or doubt. That's enough right there. Perfectionism and high self-standards, cognitive distortions and negative self-talk, and neurochemical imbalances. So
it could be a mental issue.
But it's not a disorder.
Oh, okay.
It's not,
Understood.
So those are some causes.
Okay.
And the impact on your life. I feel like this is about to be my new Tinder bio description. Like impact.
What's your @ handle?
Anxiety and depression.
That's your @ handle for Tinder.
It should be, honestly. But yeah, no.
Anxiety and depression, check. Okay.
This is an impact. Anxiety and depression, reduced productivity and performance, difficulty taking risks and pursuing opportunities, relationship problems, and burnout.
Burnout.
So yeah, this I think is like, obviously this is not like I have these things, this is my issue. Like there's,
yeah, absolutely.
Not saying like, oh, you checked these boxes. Yeah, this is you.
But if you check every box, it may be,
But again, disclaimer, we are not clinical anything.
Nothing.
This is not professional advice.
Nope.
This is
opinion.
Literally just us talking about our lived experiences.
It's all opinion based. It's talking about something that exists and how we can relate it to our own lives.
Yeah.
It's not us diagnosing ourselves, saying anything is factual.
Yeah.
We may watch a lot of Grey's Anatomy. I may. Grey's Anatomy, The Resident, all those MD shows, but does not mean either of us are professionals or have anything after our initials.
Yeah. But I am happy to take a phone call from anyone to tell you exactly what I think. I just won't do it on the podcast. Right?
Okay. Sure.
I'll do it. Girl, if I was to call you and be like, here's some things, you would tell me, I think you fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I
mean, you tell me that all the time.
So yeah. So this whole like idea of imposter syndrome, I feel like there's like 3 areas. Really like 2, but you could probably make a ton of areas. But like there's a career area, there's like a personal / like relationship area.
Yep.
And then one area that I see a lot is like a creative area. So those are 3 I think we're going to talk about
Touch base
today.
on. Yep.
Do you want to start or do you want to?
I'll start.
Okay, you go.
Let's go with career because I feel like this is the area where I have the most to say about this because I've talked about this in particular with one of my other friends. I feel like honestly every other week when we're talking on the phone, we bring up imposter syndrome and how we feel. And that has to do with like she left her job and started her own career path a couple years ahead of me, but like because I just left my career a little bit over a year ago and like changed paths slightly, I feel like it's a common thing for us to talk about. Before I get onto that, I feel like I can relate imposter syndrome to honestly my past 2 jobs along with my current job. So to start with the first, I worked at a restaurant in New Paltz. I started there back when I was 14, 15 and left there when I was 25 years old. So almost 10 years there, just over 10 years there. And when I started, I was obviously very young, but I started working up the ladder there, as you can say, somewhat quickly. And I became a manager at the restaurant when I was 18 years old. And when I was a manager, I was so happy. I was excited. And there was additional work that came with it, kind of. It wasn't like the GM of the restaurant. It was a restaurant manager, or like a serving manager, which there was a couple of us. I wasn't the only one. But 18 years old, taking on that responsibility and also just like feeling like people would respect me was really nerve-wracking. I constantly felt like I wasn't being taken seriously. And it wasn't about like the responses I would feel from people. It was all about me. I just felt like I can't be a manager. I'm only 18 years old. Like, what am I doing? Am I just like, I know I have this title, but am I pretending to do it even though I'm doing it? Like, I just did not feel deserving of it not because of my ability, but because of my age. I constantly felt like I was pretending to be the role I was given, even though I was actually doing the role. It really had to do with like my age at the time, my experience too. Like I had only worked there for, 3 years at that time, which is a lot. But I just, going back to the time, I remember talking to new hires that would work there. Like, oh, you're 19 and they were like 24 applying for the job and I was training them. And so I just constantly felt a little, that was like the start of my feeling for it. I felt like it increased over time as I changed careers and I was in even a higher up role and I had more responsibilities under my belt. So that's like when I personally started feeling it, but then it grew, especially at my last job. So similar to my first, restaurant manager job, when I started working at my last job as a GM and, venue manager, I started off at first as a just hotel receptionist and then moved up quickly to the AGM, which I felt like it was luck that it happened because the AGM at the time left abruptly and there was no one else. And they were like, oh, well, Kaylee's good at what she does in the front desk. We'll just bring her on. And when that happened, I had no experience other than those 6 months that I worked there in hotel. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And then when that happened, they also put me on to sell weddings. I had been to like 3 weddings in my life at that point. I didn't know what the fuck to do. And at that time, it was also, this place had recently opened up. They didn't have a lot of like their ducks in a row when it came to weddings. They didn't have sales material. They didn't have a lot of stuff developed. So not only was I being thrown in to like be a assistant general manager of a hotel, also be the sales manager for their weddings, but then also develop material. And I'm like, who the fuck am I? And I vividly remember like I couldn't sleep at night. I couldn't sleep because I was so concerned I was going to mess something up. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to create a BEO. I didn't even know what a fucking BEO meant. Like banquet etiquette order? What the fuck does that mean? Like I didn't know.
Not etiquette.
Oh, what did I say?
You said etiquette.
Oh shit. Oops.
There should be some etiquette in there though.
There should be. I didn't know like just creating spreadsheets. I didn't use spreadsheets until I was in fucking college, and I'm creating these proposal sales deck and making all these formulas. I was staying up late, one, because I couldn't sleep, and two, I'm YouTubing videos of like how to fucking do this shit. And then comes executing weddings. Again, I didn't know what I was fucking doing, and there wasn't a lot of people there because I was the AGM. So there was the GM there, which she was great. She didn't have as much experience too, and she had her whole, job to run. So I'm just flying off the, what's the saying?
Handle? The seat of your pants?
Yeah, thank you. I was going to say suit of my pants. So I didn't know what I was doing, and I was so fucking hard on myself at the same time. I was so like, you're not good enough. They should have hired someone else. They hired you at a convenience. That's the only reason you're there. And then I stayed there for 7 years, and I became the GM, and I booked all the weddings there, and I booked all the corporate groups, and the feeling faded over time, not completely, but it started to dissipate a little bit until there was times where people would get hired in other roles that would be either like my right hand or someone managing another entity of the property that was 20 years older, had 30 years more experience, and came with this whole background. I was like, shit. I went back into that feeling of who the fuck am I?
Yeah.
My only experience is here. I only have 7 years experience, or even at that time, it was 4 years. Like, who the fuck am I? But then I put the proof in the pudding. I showed up. I did my work. I tried my best. And I blew a lot of those people out of the water. Not to toot my own horn.
Toot toot.
But a lot of people that I was nervous about, that I was working with, that I was like, fuck, this person has so much more experience than me. What the fuck am I doing here? Then I'm like, oh, they don't even know how to put a subject line in a fucking email. Or like, they don't know how to show up to a meeting on time. Or they don't know how to accept a Google invite. They don't even know how to fill out a BEO. And they said they have 15 years experience with it. So it's a challenging feeling. But once you got to just put faith in yourself, and you have to stop comparing yourself. That's like my 2 cents with it all. I felt like it was ramping up the most when I would compare myself to someone else and be like, oh, clearly I am an imposter because look at this person. Like, they have so much more experience than me. They worked at all these well-known companies or well-known hospitality groups or well-known planners. But then when you work with people like that, they could be great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying everyone who has that experience is shit. But a lot of the people that I was comparing myself to over the years, I found out, oh, well, why did I even think that? Because they were shit.
I don't think, and this, this is something I think about quite often. I don't think anybody really knows what the fuck they're doing anytime. Anytime. You think like you get to this status or position of leadership or whatever, and you realize very quickly that, oh, nobody actually knows.
I agree. And it's
what they're doing.
Yeah.
Not in the sense of to go against what you're saying where like these people don't know what the fuck they're doing. But it's like you get there and you realize, oh no, it's fine that I'm here because everybody else here has some shit.
Well, and what I wanted to add to that part is like, it doesn't really matter about your experience as much as it matters of how much of a hard worker you are. Because experience does have weight to it, but hard working has so much more weight to it, in my opinion. I would rather hire someone that I could tell is like a doer, wants to work hard, wants to learn, than someone that has 10, 15 years experience in an area. I'm going to get more out of this person who just wants to dive in and work their ass off and is really eager to learn. Eager to learn is also like a huge thing. And I felt like I've always had that character trait where I've always wanted to learn the in and out of the business, and I've wanted to do as many positions in that business as possible to like understand how that place operates, not just how that role operates that I'm in. And I think that's also a big difference between just comparing yourself to someone who comes with a ton of experience.
Spam call, baby.
Fucking, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. It's a representative calling me. Yeah, I don't know if all of that makes sense, if anyone feels the same way, but I think a lot of my feeling, at least speaking to my last role, had to do with my experience and constantly comparing myself.
Okay. Did you have stuff with your where you're at now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know if you wanted to add any more to it, so that's.
I mean, listen. I could talk forever about this, but I'm gonna be nice and.
Okay. So now bringing us up to present day. So present day, I've mentioned this on multiple episodes of this podcast, but I left my job of 7 years to become a wedding planner and coordinator, which I've been loving and has been amazing. But when you leave a job that you've done for a long period of time to do a role that you've never done, and you're immediately working with clients, and yes, I've been trained. Yes, I understand the role, but it's my first time doing it. So obviously, I'm going to feel like an imposter. And my first couple clients, and still to this day, but my first couple clients last year, I cannot tell you the like riddled anxiety that I felt of talking to people about my experience and about their wedding and about planning their wedding and going through their punch list and their checklist. And after every call, I'm like, Kaylee, do you know what? Can you do this? You've never done this. You're telling people you're going to do this, but you haven't done this before. You've seen it done because you've worked with so many wedding planners. You understand the role, but you're telling people you can do this job, but you've never done this job before. Can you actually do this? And I felt like I was in this point of like crisis mode last year. And again, it's still trickling into this year because I'm offering more, we have tiers of service with the company that I work with. And I'm not just offering the like month of service, I'm offering a little bit more. So it's trickling into that of goes into design, it goes into booking more vendors, it goes into a lot. And it's like deep down, I know I can do it and I know I'm going to be great at it. But at the same time, I'm constantly questioning myself. Like, you've never done this before, or you've never done certain things to certain capacities. Like, are you just faking it till you make it? And I know I'm going to get it done, but that little voice in the back of my head is debilitating at times.
Yeah. No, I get that.
If I had to generalize, what I'm getting at is with my age, with my level of experience, and with jumping into new careers, I've at the 3 pillars of my work life history have always related to imposter syndrome. And no matter how much experience that you have, no matter how long you've worked at a place, it's okay to still feel that way because I still do.
Yeah.
So that was my work spiel.
Damn, girl.
I got issues.
We got an imposter in this bitch.
Oops. I still do a great job, y'all.
I don't
it's
feel...
my anxiety.
Well, and that's the thing is I think it's like you feel these and you always let these things get to you, but like nobody else on an outside perspective is probably ever thinking these things. Like I've worked with you during events.
Yeah.
I'm never like, what the fuck is this bitch doing? Does she know what she's doing?
No, and it's not to toot my own horn. I'm going to pull it off and it's going to be fucking great. It's just really talking about like what I'm currently doing now. I'm learning as I go and I never want that to be client facing. I always want to learn behind the scenes, not from the client's perspective. So not that I'm going to pretend to them that I know something that I don't. I'm the last person that will ever tell someone like, yeah, you could definitely do this, or this is how it definitely works. I'm the type of person, that's a great question. Let me do some research and get back to you. So I'm never going to give false information. I'm never going to pretend like you can do something when you can. I'm always going to filter out how I'm going to say that. But I'm always petrified I'm going to learn the hard way from a mistake that's going to be client facing.
Yeah. No, I get that.
I always, and this goes to like the perfectionism part of imposter syndrome, I always want to be absolutely perfect to my client and with the clients that I work for and want to give them the perfect experience. So it goes back to also like the anxiety that I hold of not being good enough. I think that correlates a lot with imposter syndrome of never feeling good enough, never feeling like I'm doing enough. So I think it also goes back to that.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Your turn. Passing the torch.
I was like, is she going to ask me or should
Passing
I just
the torch.
go off on my own?
You go off, girl.
No, in terms of like a career thing, definitely very similar. I took management role when I was like 19 and it was very much like, okay, cool. Like it's cool in the moment. Like, hell yeah, I'll take this. But then like you're in it and you're like, oh, what is this? And like for me, even to like this day, I let the idea of like my age be a thing, which like now it's like, okay, yeah, I'm 31. Like looking at where I am, it's kind of weird. But it was always my thing of like, I would deal with people who were like newly hired or like back then I was hiring a lot of people and a lot of people worked under me that were older and had like years of experience, which I'm like, well, this is weird. Like, I think there was a time where everyone who like worked under me
was older
than me.
Yeah.
And I don't think that ever was a thing in their mind of like, oh, this young guy who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Like, because I think I carry myself very well, but very much the age thing for me just gave me such anxiety of like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing because I'm so young, which is, I look back at it now and I'm like, no, you like got shit done back then. Currently though, like there are still times where obviously I've been doing this for over like a decade now. So like I have the experience. I also look at like my brain is very analytical.
Yeah.
So like I'm always analyzing everything. I work rather quickly on things. But like there's times where Rachel at work will say like, oh, you just know like what to do. And I'm like, I'm just winging it, girl.
Yeah.
Like I don't necessarily know what to do. Like if there's a crisis, I'm normally the one to be able to come in and handle, but I'm just winging it. Like,
well, you're
I don't.
also a problem solver too.
Yeah. It's like, I'm just taking the data that I have and quickly analyzing it and analyzing what possible outcomes and solutions, but I'm just winging it. And that's honestly like, someone could ask me, hey, can you do this? I won't have any idea how to do it, but I'm gonna say, yeah, I'll do it.
Or I'll figure it out.
And that's just the thing is like, I'll say, yeah, I'll do it. And then I'm over here Googling, like, how do you do this? Because I don't know, but I also won't tell someone no.
Yeah.
Not to make it sound like I don't actually know what I'm doing, but a lot of the times I'm doubting myself of like, can you actually do this? Because like, who are you? Like this is not you. Like you don't, even being in the, sorry, I just burped. Even being in the position I am in now, where like I am like top leadership, there are things I don't know what to do. And like areas where like the people that I work with may know what they're doing, but I don't know what I'm doing. And it takes a lot for me to even ask like, hey, I don't actually know how to do this. Can you help me? Like, I'm not a person, not to say that I won't ask for help, because if I need help, I'm going to ask for help. But like, it depends on what it is. So very much like, I feel like a lot of times I'm just winging it. And maybe I'm not. Maybe I actually know what I'm doing, but it just feels like, let me just wing it, you know? So it's very similar to your whole experience as well, where a lot of it is based on age.
Yeah.
And even just like what background it is. Like people always ask me, and I think it's weird to ask this question in general, but like, oh, what did you go to school for?
Really?
Yeah. And I'm like, I went to school for theater. So like, now let me tell you, I use that degree every single day. Every single day I use that degree.
He's putting on a show.
But not even so much that, like,
No, you have to
just
put
like
on
the being able to like listen to people, to listen to them and not to just respond to them. Like a lot of aspects. I mean, me and everything I do in this house is because I learned that in school for theater and like building sets and stuff. I don't know where I was going with that. I fell off my tangent, but yeah, no, I feel like if I look at certain things, I'm like, oh, I don't know. Or like I get this a lot with like planners sometime, not to come at y'all, but like I feel like sometimes I get intimidated and question with planners. Or at least I did. Nowadays, this is where I'm like, it's imposter. And I'll get more into like my imposter syndrome and the way I present that and like why I feel it's real in like relationships and stuff.
Yeah.
But for a while, I was like very intimidated by planners coming in because there's one specific planner in my brain, and I'll tell you later who it is, and it'll make complete sense. Where like I spoke to this planner, and the first time meeting them, and I'm being very careful right now, and I immediately was like, I need to quit my job because it was just the look of like questioning and disgust of like what my background was. And I was like, so now and I'll dive more into this in a little bit, but now you can't catch me like that. I am confident as can be. Like I'm a brick wall. It's not always real. It's not always like supported with the way I feel, but I'm going to come off as this confident person who like you're not going to fuck around with. So, yeah.
And just since you brought that up, I think the transition with this, again, imposter syndrome with my past job to my current job, I lost that crutch that I had towards the end of my last job where it's like, I've been here for 7 years.
Yeah.
I've done every single wedding. Here. So I had that crutch that I've lost now that I'll build over time. And I still use my experience in my past job because it relates to weddings, obviously. And I had a lot to do with them there. But yeah, I lost that crutch where I would have people like, so what's your background? How long have you been here? How long have you been in weddings? And I was like, I've been here for 7 years. I've done every single wedding that's walked through this door. And now I've been doing planning for X amount of years, but I also have this experience and I know what I'm doing. So it's like, I know I can do it. I lack the confidence that I need to have in myself. It's like, it's hard to explain it. I guess I don't lack the confidence because I know I can do it. I question myself because of the experience length, the age length, and not the job that I do now, but the job I did previously, also being a female.
Yeah.
You know, being a GM of a hotel and being a female, there was a lot of times that I was looked upon differently.
Well, that's I feel like that could be across the board.
Females, absolutely.
Insane.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can go on a whole tangent with that.
Jumping onto one of the things that you said about like length of time at a place, that's something that will always trip me up. And I don't know why. Like when people ask me at my current place where I work now, how long have you been here? Like it hasn't been long. I think it's 4 years this year.
Feels like so much
like so much longer. But I'm like, I have to remind myself, like maybe they're just asking because it's not in like a malicious way or something. But sometimes they're like,
it depends on the person.
It depends on the person. And like that for me can immediately like trigger something where I'm like, oh.
It depends on the person because I can tell when I've gotten asked out of like curiosity or I can tell when I've been asked out of like, do you know what you're doing?
Yeah.
You know?
I fucking hate those people. Fuckers.
And listen, with the job I do now as planning, the couple should ask me.
Yeah.
I don't feel any sort of way.
Absolutely.
But at previous jobs, like, because I'm working for myself under a company now, so I understand asking me. But for prior jobs, like, you should just know my title.
Yeah.
You know?
It doesn't matter. Yeah. So to like veer us away from career-oriented imposter syndrome, do you experience it in like a personal level, like relationship-wise?
Yes. Every day.
Okay. Every day?
I mean, maybe not every day. I'm here for the dramatics. Yes, absolutely. I think one area in particular I could talk about more so than the others would be my friendships, actually.
Oh shit!
Um,
Is this about to be? You about to like reveal some stuff right now?
I don't,
Oh, I'm nervous.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
let you speak. But
It's not about you.
okay, okay,
It's not about you.
okay. I'm over here like.
Um, I don't know if this is imposter syndrome, but I'm just going to go for it.
Okay.
I have always questioned if I'm a good friend. And it has a lot to do with, I guess I can relate it to work, to be honest. Not that I want to bring us back to the career path, but relating to work and like getting older and just like we all change, you know, we get married, people move away, people have kids, people don't have kids. And I've just constantly questioned myself of, am I a good enough friend? Am I doing enough? I guess I'm not a good friend because I'm not doing all of these things that I see other people on social media do with their friends. And, you know, there's certain friendships in particular that I'm thinking of. I'm not going to bring them up, but I definitely have felt this in my personal life, in particular, again, with friendships where I constantly just question myself that I'm not doing enough. I'm not showing up enough. I'm trying to balance my life with like my relationship with my husband, my relationship with friends, my work relationship, and just like really trying to find that balance. And I constantly feel like I'm letting something slip. Like there's always one thing that's slipping. And I don't know if that's me just being hard on myself, me seeing expectations that I can't be met, but I'm seeing them on social, where, you know, everything on social can be filtered and can be a story that's put out by someone how they want it to be showed. But yeah, I think I feel that pretty deeply when it comes to friendships.
So in terms of like a imposter syndrome outlook though, do you feel like you then are like faking it with friends? Like like you have to overdo it in certain friendships, or
I don't feel like I'm, yes and no, honestly. Sometimes I feel like I'm trying to overcompensate because in times maybe I haven't given enough. So it's not that I'm faking it, but maybe in moments I'm like trying to put a lot in at once to make up for times that I wasn't like answering a text or readily available. But I think I feel in moments that in the past I have tried to like give as much as possible, but then I question myself, like, are you giving enough? Are you really a good friend? Are you really this person's best friend? Like, are you not me repeating myself multiple times? Are you doing enough? And I'm constantly questioning that with certain friendships because I have felt like I have, but then I think about it holistically. I hate that fucking word. And then I go on a tangent of just being like, I feel like I'm not meeting the expectations of what a good friend is. And it's hard for me because I do feel like I'm deep down a really good person and I mean really well. I think in the past, not as much currently, but in the past with my prior job, I put way too much of myself in that job. And a lot of things got left to the wayside and friendships suffered for that. And I felt like I communicated enough, but maybe I didn't. So I just like, I questioned myself a lot that, am I actually a good friend? Was I actually a good friend at that time? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, listen, I can't speak for your other friendships, but you know, none of that applies to me. To me. Not to rub it into your other friends who might be listening, but
and nothing bad happened. I don't want to put it out like anything bad happened. It's just I get into these like I get into my head a lot, which I'm sure you all know by now. And I'll do this with not only friendships. I'll do this with like, am I a good daughter? because I see certain things my sisters will do. Like, oh, I should have thought of that. Like, it really comes down to, which I said this with careers too, I'm always comparing myself, which is something I really need to work on. So it's not that something bad happened with other friendships. It's just I would compare my friendships to seeing how other people showcase theirs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do think to a certain degree, some of these instances, though, can be it's not a two-way or it's a two-way street. It's not a one-way street.
Yeah.
And so some of the circumstances I think also have to deal with the way the other person also is.
Yeah. No, that's
acting.
valid.
So, okay.
And it's also friendships in your 30s are tough.
I mean, for me, friendships in general have always been tough,
Yeah.
especially in a when you're the type of person who like takes what they do for work seriously. Not to say that people don't take their job seriously, but like when there's a certain degree of pressure on you for your job and you want to deliver.
And with our careers too, being focused on like weekends and our high season.
Oh yeah. It's when everyone else is living their best life.
Yeah. So that's been a huge challenge too, is trying to juggle where I work when you're off. You work when I'm off. I have more availability when it's not as ideal, I guess, to visit or like to do things together. Yeah. So that's definitely a factor as well.
No, I get that. Oy vey.
So, you know, always trying to do better if I can.
You gonna ask me?
Do I have to?
Bitch.
Your turn. You tell me about you.
So I think in terms of, so like what sparked this idea of imposter syndrome for me was when we were in the car last week. And we were talking about like when you go to these places, if you are going alone, can you do that? And like, for me, it's like nah, I'm not good at that. But like there are times in circumstances that you have no choice but to experience that. And so like
I should have brought that up. That's a good point. Yeah.
For me, it's in relation. I mean, I'm not really dating these days, but it's a thing in relationships for sure. I feel like, especially like first dates, things like that. Not that I'm particularly presenting someone who's not myself, but there's a bit of imposter of like, I got my shit together, or like, you know, and I'm saying this wrong in terms of dating because I don't want it to seem like if I'm dating someone or I'm going on a date that I'm presenting myself wrong. So I'm just gonna give a story so that I can clear my conscience over here.
It's a big word for Matthew.
When I said it, I was like, did I say that right? Am I having a Kaylee moment?
Lauren.
So okay, here's a story for you. I was dating this guy and we had probably been dating not long, maybe like a month and a half at this point. And he had invited me to go to this event with his friends. It wasn't like a wedding or anything like that. It was just this event at this place that recently opened up and whatever, blah, blah, blah. So in terms of that, I was like, okay, yeah, cool. Of course I want to do that. But then it was the idea of like, okay, now I have to meet all these people who like I know are gay. And so there's this double pressure, whether it exists or not. I think every gay out there would agree that like it's one thing to meet someone's friends, it's another to meet someone's gay friends.
Got it.
When you yourself are gay.
Yeah.
So it was very much like, okay, I'm gonna figure out what exactly I'm gonna wear so that it's not like, oh, I'm a bum. But, oh, I'm bougie. It's like, it's going to be a cute outfit that's like, oh, yeah, he's got style. Like, he's cute. He's cute. That went on. You know how I am with trying to find outfits.
I know.
Tore my closet apart. Then it comes time to meet. And so, like, I'm nervous as hell. And so it's like, okay, what am I going to do to just be good? Like, I'm not going to walk in there and be an idiot and like, oh, my God, I'm so nervous. So what do? I'm like, I'm gonna fucking go in there like I am the nicest person on earth. I have 100% of my life together. I am the most confident person you'll ever meet in your life. And I'm just going to exude that the room didn't exist until I walked into it.
Damn.
And it was like very
That's
much.
great.
But if I was wearing a shirt that you could see the sweat,
Right.
you'd see all the sweat.
Totally.
But I was strategic.
You had to fake it till you make it a little bit.
I was faking it till I made it. Till I made it. Sorry. I was like, does that make sense? But winging it at the same time. So it was like, cool, I'm going to go in and they're all already there. Mm-hmm. So it's us now coming in. So it's like, oh, where the fuck am I going to sit? Type thing. Like that, you know? But it's like, I'm just going to make it feel like I'm a thing. And so I sat and I just talked, and I probably told people that I knew what they were talking about when I had never heard of what they were talking about ever in my life.
Done that a million times.
If someone's like, hey, have you ever seen this? I'm like, yeah.
Just so you don't elongate the conversation too. Just so then they're like, you didn't see it? Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. It's like, nope.
Yeah.
Totally seen it.
No, I'm gonna fake it like I've seen it.
People think I've seen The Godfather. Haven't.
People think I've seen The Sopranos. I've never seen it through, but it's stuff like that. But it was like, oh, okay. Like, so I'm here, I'm talking, I'm like doing my thing. Oh, I really need to just get the fuck out of here right now and go to the bathroom and like have a natural moment with myself. So it's like, oh, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Does anyone want a drink? I'll get you a drink when I'm out. And then like that type of thing where it was very much like.
And then you go to the bathroom and you're staring at yourself in the mirror like.
Yeah, I'm just like wiping sweat.
Yeah.
Like, so it's insane. So I had it with that very much, but that's the case in a lot of social settings for me, where I'm just like, I'm for what my job is, I am not a very like, what's the word? Not approachable, but like approaching person. Yeah. Like, I'm not a person that's just going to go up to someone and start conversation. I'm not that person.
It's very much depending on the scenario for me.
I mean, if it's work and I have to, then I'll do it. But yeah, so then it came to that. And then a couple weeks, maybe like a month and a half later, I also had to see all these people again. And it was like, shit, now I got to do this all over again.
Put my mask on.
So it very much... And like, obviously that's an extreme, not extreme, but like that's a circumstance of it. But like, I feel like that sometimes, even if it's like, I'm going out with you and Josh and we're going to a brewery and there's people there that I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's that like.
I get like that still sometimes. Let me just
act like because it's like, I know that these people have some sort of idea of who I am. Right, when it comes to you and Josh, because like the three of us are together all the time.
No, but there's certain people when we'll go out that like we both like know but don't really know, and I'm like, feeling it out, and you got to kind of put on the facade of like I'm hot shit.
Yeah, well, and you can tell, like you could probably be able to tell how I am.
Oh, I know, bitch.
With people because it's either I am there or I am not.
Totally, yeah.
And if I'm not, it's like someone's got to throw the line and reel me in because I will just sit there like
earth the mat.
Yeah. So very much in a personal setting, that's how I am. A lot of that stems from being more reserved.
Yeah.
Also, like, honestly, I think growing up, like I had one best friend growing up. Mm-hmm. Who changed as I grew older and went through the phases of like elementary, middle school, high school, things like that. But I wasn't I got along with everyone. Back then, I probably called everyone friends. I don't think I would consider those people friends now. I think they would just be acquaintances.
I know that term
or like people
as you get older. Yeah.
But I didn't have a ton of like right now what I would consider friends. I didn't have a ton of those people. I was very like, I mean, it goes into like, I was terrified I was going to be outed.
Right.
But I didn't have a lot of that. And so it's constantly that thing of like not feeling good enough to be friends.
Right.
With people.
I get that.
It's that anxiety of like, oh, I'm just not good enough to like be in this situation.
Aw.
Where sometimes that is the case and I still feel that way. Other times I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to just fuck around and act like I should be here. And it hasn't failed me yet.
Do you know what just popped in my head? I feel like I'm more comfortable, and you might relate with this, which is why I'm bringing it up. I feel like I'm more comfortable at like my home base. So not just meaning my house.
Mm-hmm.
So if there was an event hosted at my old job
Mm-hmm.
and I had to go up to people I didn't know,
Mm-hmm.
I felt so much more comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, this is my house. I'm the GM of this place, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I felt so much more empowered and comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Same with when I worked in restaurants. Like, I'll go, a guest has an issue, I'll go talk to them. I don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have to meet and greet these customers or whatever. Like, friends are coming in from school to say hi to me, or like acquaintances that I don't know. I just had so much more confidence when I'm like, I have the backing of that being my home base.
Mm-hmm.
Same at my house. If like Josh has friends that I don't really know that much, or coworkers coming over, this is my fucking house. Welcome. Like, hello. Take your shoes off. Like, wipe the toilet seat after you're done. But then when you're going into like unfamiliar territory, that's where my Kaylee becoming an introvert comes out. Because I've always said I'm like an introvert and an extrovert.
Yeah,
it just
same.
depends. It's all situational based.
Well, it's very much like for me, in my mind, I'm equating this to what can I do while all this is happening?
Well, that's the whole
because
base.
like I can
I could go to my office, vape really quick.
like
I know
if
the
you're
best
home-
bathroom to shit in. I know how to be like, oh, let me go check with the front desk. Like, there's an easy escape route. What?
I know which bathroom to shit in.
We all know who works in the industry. That's the first thing you think of.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, not everyone.
We're not getting on a poop tangent,
Yeah,
but I
not
have
again.
so many thoughts on this. Not again. What does that mean?
I don't know. Didn't we talk about this?
About poop?
Oh, it was pee. Moppy.
Get ready for your weekly dose
Yeah.
of some bodily fluid.
Oh, gross.
Gosh.
We'll talk about throw up next week.
So in terms of one of the things on here was like a creative aspect of your life. Do you have anything where you feel like creative wise? Which I think is a very broad term.
Why don't you go first? Because I feel like I do, but I need to hear your examples. Because
I don't necessarily have an example. I have something where it's like I'm kind of shocked that I don't feel like an imposter there.
I would say like even working on my house. Yeah. I know, like I have things in mind, but I don't know.
Say that again. Working on your...
Like
the
decor
okay.
design of my house. Sorry, guys.
I was like, what do you... I thought I was confused. So like my thing creative wise is, I think in a creative aspect, I could probably say like back when I was acting, that's obviously something very much imposter, whatever, that deep dives into like what is acting, all that stuff.
Oh, I have something.
But the one thing that I'm kind of shocked that I don't feel this like, oh no, I shouldn't be doing this or anything like that is when it comes to the podcast. Like I don't feel like
That's good,
like
though.
I don't know, it's just weird. Like I have no problem talking to people about the podcast. I have no problem creating the content or
marketing
or editing. Like none of that. I'm just like, oh no, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
It's like it's weird to me that I feel so
confident
about like it
That's
just
good.
is what it is. So I don't know. For me, creative wise, I don't know if there's anything.
I have something. I don't know if this falls under, so I'm just going to go with it.
Okay.
Hair, makeup, and clothing nowadays.
Oh.
Yeah. There's certain things like I have some days where I'm good at, but I feel like as I get older and as trends change, I don't know if I'm like as abreast or fully up to date. So it's something I want to work on more because there are times where, again, I do my hair and my makeup, especially for like a client meeting, and I just feel like a pig with lipstick on. Slapping lipstick on a pig. Jesus. No, I'm serious though. I don't listen. I'm not trying to call myself Miss Piggy. That was the only phrase I can think of. But yeah, I think that's the only thing. It's not like anything drastic right now. Other than my rosacea. But yeah, if I had to choose something, that's what I would choose.
Okay.
So if anyone thinks I'm ugly, keep it to yourself.
If anybody, this is where like sometimes I think if we put ourselves out there like that and someone wants to come at us in like a physical attribute way,
oh, game over, bro.
I think I would be, I'd get us banned.
Same.
Because I'd be like, yo. Like that one time that girl came on one of the TikToks and said some stupid shit. And I was like, girl, you lucky.
You lucky.
Yeah.
Matt and I got unworked out anger issues. Like the truck
That's like the truck that just drove by. That's the inside me sometimes.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
Remember that girl who flipped us off at Walmart? Because we pulled into the spot in front of us and she was like 10 seconds behind.
But we weren't. I don't think we were. You about to get crazy? Did I have to stop you from doing something?
You were about to get crazy. I stopped you from doing something.
Wasn't it the same one though where I was like, I'm gonna go outside because they fuck with the car?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was. That's when we bought the blow up dinosaur outfits.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I think we're just all a bunch of imposters.
Fakers.
Honestly, like I don't think there's anybody who's not.
Just don't fake your orgasms.
Oh.
If you do,
yo,
find a new man or a new vibrator.
Did I ever tell you about the story that I faked an asthma attack to stop? Yeah.
You haven't told them, y'all.
Okay, so basically we're all imposters. I'm gonna wrap up this podcast by telling this asthma story real quick. Is that good with you?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a sex story. So if there's children around, tell them to go.
They shouldn't be listening to this anyway.
But anyway, so one time, someone hit me up. I'm gonna just say, I'm gonna put it all out there.
Just put it all out there.
The neighbor's son hit me up, who was like a year or two younger than I was. This was when I was in my 20s. It must have been. So we were both in our 20s, whatever, and hit me up to, do some dirty, and yeah, and so came over, and it was fine. But I was like, you know what? I'm not actually into this. I won't say why I wasn't into it.
I was going to say.
That is very explicit, and I will not get into that. Shut up, Kaylee. Don't say it.
I'm not.
But anyway. So.
Oh my God, I forgot. I thought it was something else. Sorry.
I can't wait to hear what that was. But yeah, so I was like, so I faked an asthma attack, and I committed, like, and like to the point where he thought he should probably call 911, but I was like, no, it's fine. Like I have to get my inhaler. I don't have an inhaler. Like,
gotta go to my parents.
So yeah, that happened, and then he left, and I faked an asthma attack to get out of that hookup that I was doing. That was a long time ago.
Damn.
But yeah, there's a couple things about me. I'll fake an asthma attack. That was one time. I'll fake a phone call. I will fake a phone call like nobody's business.
Yep.
So yeah. So listen, y'all. I guess
text thread.
I'm being an imposter.
We all have to be an imposter sometimes.
Is imposterating a word? Imposterating?
I don't think
impostering?
So. Impostering.
Is that the word?
I don't know.
I thought.
Why are you asking me?
Right. So yeah. So we're just a bunch of imposters, and we just thought, why not talk about it today?
I can tell you make it, y'all.
I'm sure y'all have your own imposter thing, but that is what we got for you.
That's what we got, y'all.
So
enjoy your Thursday. Enjoy your weekend.
Get some drinks,
but
don't get crazy. Don't get crazy. Get outside. Go for a walk. Enjoy the weather.
Get the sunlight
unless you're somewhere where it's not like that. We have some listeners that are overseas.
So if it's not like that, stay inside, y'all.
Yeah.
Don't listen to us.
You know what? Just do what you want to do.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.